Tea time with Trav. When you're dating someone new, you have to teach them how to love you because everybody is not the same. But instead of constantly picking at little stuff and saying, I don't like when you do this, I try to find the balance because there's a thin line between telling somebody what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and just completely nagging. What's going on, y'all? It's Ayootravv, and I'm back. I'm back again, and I had to bring back me a rotisserie. I was in Costco, and it just looked so good. So I was like, you know what? Rotisserie it is. Because that was not even what was on my agenda. What the hell? Y'all, my thing on. I don't think I put the lid back on the water properly, but there we go. And I'm just waking up from a nap. I took a really good nap. It felt good. But let me say grace, and I'm just gonna jump right into this bird. Father God, I come to today to watch over this food. Please give your nourishment to my body. Please don't digest this food properly. You're in my brain, man, one time. Amen. He's about to get straight to it. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. This is one of the new Ayoos sauce flavors that I'm working on. This is a Cajun garlic flavor. Oh my God, it's good. What's up? I feel like it's always noise outside my window when I'm filming. Always. But how y'all day going there? Mine is good. Mine is good. Now as I'm digging to this bird. All up in there. Ooh. Oh yeah. Yellow bite. Woo! Tea time with Trav. I thought I had me like a little trash, little back where I normally do, but I ain't putting out there. Oh, excuse me. My iPad's over here going off. Hold on. When you're dating someone, how do I want to word this? When you're dating someone new, you have to teach them how to love you because everybody is not the same. But instead of constantly picking at little stuff and saying, I don't like when you do this, I don't like when you do this, I don't like when you do that, I try to find the balance between that and nagging, because there's a thin line between telling somebody what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and just completely nagging. And I'm still trying to get there. I'm trying to find a little gray area. And that's something that I've struggled with, because in the past, I've done one of two things. I've let stuff go. I let little stuff go and let it happen. But then they started to build up. And then I ultimately blew up. But on the flip side, I've tried letting someone know every time I didn't agree with something, but then that became nagging. So it's like I get stuck in that area, like, do I keep this to myself so you don't think that I'm nagging? But if I do, I'm going to drive myself insane. However, if I keep telling you I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like that, I'm now driving you insane. So it's like, how do you find that happy medium? Because it gets to a point. So I'm basic, right? I'm very basic. When it comes to like what makes me happy. The smallest things make me happy. On the flip side, the smallest things are gonna piss me off. So it's like I be telling myself, that's something so small, let it go. But I've been in so many situations where I let that happen, and I did let it go, and then it became a consistent behavior that I then wasn't able to put up with. And when I finally just blew up, I completely blew up. Excuse me. So I told myself, like, I would never let somebody do to me what I don't like or what I can't handle. But by doing that, I feel like there may have been instances where I ran people off because I consistently addressed the little stuff, and it made it seem as though there was no pleasing me. I made them feel as though, like, damn, is he ever happy? Do I do anything right? And that's never my intention, ever. I just be trying to find new ways of addressing stuff without making it seem like it's a problem. So, for instance, I'm trying to think of something. So, let's say you're dating someone who's not much of a talker. Like, they don't really like to be on the phone. They prefer to text. To me, we can't be in a relationship if we can't talk on the phone. Or we can't FaceTime, So, let's say they come around, they try to do what works for me. They now start calling. But although we're on the phone, we're sitting there quiet majority of the time. They're watching TV, I'm watching TV, or they're doing this, I'm doing that. And it's like, okay, you called, but we didn't talk. Like, so what was the point? So I would do something. This is the new me, not the old me, because the old me wouldn't have given a you know what. But now I'd be like, hey, I really appreciate the fact that you called. I know you're not much of a talker. You don't really do the phone thing. You prefer to text. But I really appreciate that I told you that it was something that I would prefer, and you actually, took the initiative to do it. I will say, we didn't really talk much, so it kind of defeated the purpose. However, I still appreciate you for taking that step. So it's like you're complimenting, but you're still addressing something that you may not have fully agreed with. And that's something that I just recently learned because, the way I used to operate, why you do this? I don't like you did that. Change it. Like, that didn't make me happy. I would disregard the positive of it and only focus on the negative. Excuse me. And I think that's why that got me in certain situations that I was in as well. But, if you're just critiquing, and you're not giving any type of a positive feedback or showing any type of appreciation, there's nagging to me. To me, it is. And I try to get to a point where I'm more comfortable with keeping stuff to myself. Like I said, I've been in situations where I won't address issues. And I would suppress it because at the end of the day, I felt like a little of something is better than nothing. So I would accept the little stuff or the little positive aspects of it and completely ignore the negatives, but I just held it in so long that I started to tear myself up. And it's like, it felt like I was purposely breaking my heart because I knew what was happening was breaking my heart. But I didn't say anything because I was just like, well, they did this, so, it's okay. And it didn't work. So I got to that point where I was like, you know what? I'm going to be vocal. You do something I don't like, you're going to know. You do something that pisses me off, you're going to know. You do something that irritates the hell out of me, guess what? You are going to know. And it don't always work out in your favor. It don't always work out the way you want it to. But then, even on the flip side, you can address something and not say it in a... So, I've also found myself at times, because I'm the type that I love and I love hard. So, when you get me there, like when you break down these walls, I'm not the type of person where you can break down one wall and then there's another. You can break down that wall and then there's another. You break down that wall, now you got my heart. That's not me. My wall is so tough. It's like the Great Wall of China. Like, it's just a big old thick wall. So once you get through that wall, boom, I'm all in, right? But once it starts to go left and I have to start questioning stuff, I get to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm going to fight for it. But if I start to check out, I'm done. And once I check out of that hotel, I ain't coming back. My reservation is over. So oftentimes I will just go as far as I can before I get to checking out, because I already know once I check out of that Heartbreak Hotel, I'm leaving bad reviews. I'm leaving Yelp reviews, 0 out of 5 stars. This is ghetto. Would not recommend. Don't. Da 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 da. So I had told myself, you know what? I'm gonna check him before I check out. But it's not about checking them, you know? And I had to realize that it's not about checking them. It's about just letting them know what works for you and what doesn't. And it's sometimes it's about how you say it, but on the flip side, you could say it in the nicest way that you see possible, but it's all about perception. And if that person perceive it as if you're nagging or you're trying to check them, you screwed either way. So somebody actually put it into different terms for me. They said, when dealing with someone, you're like a teacher. And I agree. Because, what, is it a hole in my jug? I think it is. You're like a teacher, right? And I say that because anybody can know how to love. But that doesn't mean they know how to love you, because everybody loves differently. Everybody give love differently. Everybody receive love differently. There's no handbook on what is love. It's how you perceive it. So with that being said, he was like, everybody is a teacher when it comes to how to love them. And as a teacher, you have to understand the type of student that you're working with. Some students, you can tell them how to fix or solve this equation one time, and they got it. Now they're straight A student. There's some students where you're gonna have to tutor, meaning you're gonna have to come back to that equation a couple of times before they can fully grasp the concept of how to solve it. And I say, you know what? You know what? And he also said you have those students that are, oh, what did he say? What was his wording? Oh my God. What was the wording? What was the wording? What was the wording? Damn it. I just had this conversation earlier. It's like 5 hours ago though. Oh, what did he say? I can't remember verbatim how he said it. But basically, it was just, sometimes you have those hard-headed students, you know? But you don't give up on them. We kind of spend a little extra time because their journey is going to be a little different. And that's not to say that they're a bad student, or that's not to say that they don't have a bright future ahead of them. It's just is going to be a little bit more challenging. But do you give up on that student? And I was like, you know what? In high school, I was that student. My freshman, all my years actually, I'm bad as hell. But, but I had teachers that, you know, gave me grace. I didn't do a homework assignment on time, and they gave me more time to, you know, work on and get it done before they failed me. Or they gave me extra credit opportunities. So basically, I say all that to say, some students are a little bit challenging. They're not going to get it off rip. They're not going to understand off rip. But it's up to you when you're dating that person to decide if you feel as though this person is worthy of you investing this time, if they're worthy of you investing this energy, and do you see a bright future ahead of them? Do you think they can learn accordingly how to love you the way that you need to be loved? And that was my TED Talk. Because I'm full. But it was a really good talk. And I was glad that I was able to have this talk earlier. I was. We talked about so much. If y'all don't watch me on BIGO, y'all missed it. But it was a panel of us just talking about this. Like we talked about, it was so many different topics, but they were all centered around love, dealing with love, preparing for love. It was so good. It was so good. I think y'all really would have enjoyed it. I think so. It was really good. I might start, there's going to be too much storage. I was going to say I might start recording my lives, but that's too much storage. And I'm going to have to buy like a 1 terabyte storage iCloud. We'll see. We'll see. You know, record it live here and there, and then, you know, come throw it on YouTube so y'all can see what y'all miss on BIGO, because it is a little bit different. Because on there, people can interact live. So when I say stuff like this, people could cut me off and be like, hey, hold on, wait, but what about da-da-da? So it's a little bit, sometimes we get a little bit more engaging. But yeah, that was my TED Talk, like I said. Y'all already know what to do. If you have not subscribed to the channel, hit that red button right there. Boom, bam, bam. Hit the bell next to it so you can notify each day every time I drop a new video. But if you want to stay connected with Ayootravv, jump into the description box. Scroll down to the bottom. Boom. Right there on the day, you are going to see my social media. Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, BIGO, add me, follow me, leave me a comment on Instagram, leave me a comment here, you can do whatever. Let me know what's like, what's done, what you want to see, 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 what you want to see. Other than that, it's been real. Ayootravv is out.